What's up, boys? What's up? What's up? Hello. I'm Elon Ma. What's up, boys? Welcome to this recap of the Diablo 4 developer update. We have a lot to talk about, so let's begin and let's try to make it under 10 minutes. For the Druid, companion skills will now deal way more damage. All ultimate skills have had their cooldowns reduced, that is actually super great. Some usability improvements have been made to maul and pulverize. Using a non-shapeshifting skill will transform you back to human form. And they seem to be aware of the spirit regeneration, but Riker confirmed that the endgame builds he tried felt crisp and smooth, so I guess we have to wait and see. I also min-maxed the pulverized landslide build and it was actually great. Maybe we will see some buffs to the storm skills before launch, who knows. For the Barbarian, a flat 10% passive damage reduction has been added to the Barbarian class. Some skills 3 passives add their damage reduction effects reduced to compensate. The Whirlwind skill now deals more damage and consumes more fury. The Double Swing skill enhancement refunds its full fury cost when used on stun or knockdown enemies. Pretty much the same as Druid, early leveling felt slow, but once you're maxed out, combat was smooth and I was dealing a lot of damage in the end. The Sorcerer. Charge bolts damage was increased and the mana cost to cast has decreased. Decreased the damage of chain lightning and reduced its effectiveness against bosses. Decreased the cooldown for the incinerate skills enchantment bonus. Firewalls will now spawn underneath enemies more frequently when using its enchantment bonus. Increased the lucky hit chance for the Meteor skills enchantment bonus. They seem to be aware of Hydras but made no changes. Good, I was gonna play Hydra build. For the Rogue, upgrades to Subterfuge skills have had their bonuses increased, multiple passive skills have had their bonuses increased, and all imbuement skills have had their cooldowns increased. And for the last one, the Necromancer. Summon minions will die more often, requiring players to utilize corpses more often. Many bonuses in the Book of the Dead have had their stats increased. The damage dealt by the corpse explosion skill has been reduced. The brightness of the skeletal warriors and mages has been reduced. That's actually nice. Now let's talk about Helltide. We now know that it unlocks at Nightmare World tier. When you are entering the zone, the sky becomes red and everything feels more threatening. It is really similar to terror zones in Diablo 2 Resurrected in my opinion. You have about an hour to grind a specific Helltide zone. Players will collect a new currency called Cinders in Helltides and you can use it to unlock Helltide caches. There will be an icon of the equipment above the chest so you can now target farm a chest piece for example. All slots have different costs, so pretty much like Obels and Blood Shards in Diablo 3. The caches are in fixed locations in each Helltide zones. They also said that more legendary power will be available in higher world tiers and that unique items are very rare. Monsters will still drop loot in Helltide. The Butcher will be in Helltides. The crafting material called Helltide Roses will be acquired during Helltide events. If you die, you permanently lose some of your cinders. You'll also lose your cinders after leaving the Helltide area. Helltide zones are on a rotation. On the next subject, Nightmare Dungeons. We will use sigils to open up the dungeons. They have affixes similar to Path of Exile. We could also say that the affixes part is similar to Last Epoch's monolith system. All dungeons can be Nightmare Dungeons, but from my understanding, about 30 of them will be on a rotation at a time. You can either craft sigils or acquire them in Whispers of the Dead in Word Tier 3 and 4. Sigils have a set levels. You can use those to farm sacred and ancestral items, as well as upgrading glyphs. Monsters can go up to level 150 for more challenges. Glyphs and Paragon boards. Magic nodes don't only have affixes like +5 dexterity or willpower, but they also have affixes like plus damage to crackling energy, like the one you can see right now on the screen. Now for rare nodes, look at that. They have really powerful effects. You can also have more power if requirements are met. Let's take this one for example. It gives plus 32 more damage to elites, gives 14% movement speed for 4 seconds after killing an elite, and also you can get another 16% damage to elites if you have at least 260 dexterity. There is approximately 10 rare nodes per board, sometimes more. We have to be careful since the refound cost will be way higher the deeper you go. The legendary nodes are incredibly powerful, class-based and super rare. They will be mainly acquired in order to focus on the build that you want to play. I didn't know that, but some nodes are actually glyphs that affects nearby nodes with additional bonuses like the one you can see on the screen. You can level them to increase the radius around that glyph. Now, let's talk about what they learned during the betas and feedbacks from the community. They had to make a couple changes to classes in order to feel a good balance amongst classes like Barbarian and Druid. Now, they can compete with Rogue, Sorcerer, and Necromancer. They had to re-evaluate melee combat and pet builds viability. They did many changes to dungeons and addressed backtracking. Objectives have been redesigned. Dungeons where you have to kill all enemies in order to go forward will now chase you down instead of having to search for the missing ones. You can't kill world bosses multiple times now. And now for the Q&A. The skill trees at launch are only the beginning. New skills and passive skills will likely to be added in the future. But these are likely expansion changes, not seasonal changes. Altars of Lilith will reset every season, so now you can enjoy rerolling a character without having to do everything all over. You only do it once per season now. Monster families have higher chances to drop certain types of items, so you can target farm. There will be no overlay map on launch. In my opinion, that's nice. I wanted an overlay map at start, but after their explanation and change of philosophy, I actually think that this is gonna be more immersive. They said that the door is not closed, but it might change later in the future. Crafting will be updated over time. You can collect herbs while mounted. There are no current plans for WASD movement. And for the last point, no further adjustments or changes after the server slam weekend. However, they are still listening to feedbacks and changes will be made later after launch. Damn, we're right at the 10 minutes mark, but I am not done. One last thing before you go. There is a server slam stress test beta weekend starting on May 12 at 12 p.m. PDT to May 14 at 12 p.m. PDT. There is going to be a freaking awesome reward if you defeat Ashava called the Cry of Ashava Mount Trophy. It is really amazing. Alright, I'm done here for the day. I want to say thank you if you've made it that far, and see you in the sanctuary on May 12. Peace.